that Yeah, dude. Get on that GTA Online staff though. That's where the job security is
Yeah, but you know who doesn't have job security?
at. Oh boy.
Speaking of job
Please.
security,
Tell me.
recently fired Mike Ybarra, former president of Blizzard, who said, and I quote, "They will have to kill me before they house me before I leave this position," or something along those lines. I'm more paraphrasing than that.
Curb Your
Before
Enthusiasm
he
music.
got fired and then replaced by what's her face? I forgot her name now.
The former an executive for Activision Blizzard and most likely a
A
oh my
former
god
COD executive who is now taking over.
yes, that's it, Bobby Kotick, a stooge probably. That's already they will have to kill me first.
Word?
They did. Word.
That was the board right there, huh? Word?
Oh my god.
They're like that, and then they just fucking fired him. Well, apparently, Mike said on Twitter, "No, I will not call it X."
Yes, I will
That
not call it
he-
XU.
He said in a very puzzling tweet, not post. He said, and I quote, "I've thought about this for a while as a player since I've been diving into single-player games lately. When I beat a game, that there there are some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought, I wish I could give these folks another $10 or $20 because it was worth more than my initial 70, and they didn't try nickel and dime me every second. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had sometimes. Some games are that special. I know most of dislikes the idea. By the way, I realize we are tired of tipping and everything else, but I view this different from a pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on." And the first response is, "And if I don't like the game, they give me my money back." So
Ugh.
So yeah, Mike's very weird. He's like, "Bro, I just want the tip, right?" Like, so. Yeah, what kind of fucking weird ass post is this, dude? Like,
Dude, no.
this man saying,
No.
"Hey, you paid $70, let's give more, right? We should support the devs, right?" So let me tell you why this is so problematic, right? I mean, it's already problematic in the restaurant industry, where restaurants
Yes.
use tips as an excuse to like underpay their workers, right?
Yep.
And I know in many cases, like, it can even out where you actually get a shitload of more money. But there's also, for every time, like, you get a shitload of money, there's probably a lot of times where you get fucking dick, right? Like, it's a very ride or die kind of scenario. Where you're kind
Yeah.
of, you're kind of, living by the tip. That's very unstable. So that's
Yes.
the first thing. Second, what the hell makes you think the tip is going to go to the developer? Like,
Yeah, dude. Let's
with the way
not.
these companies are going, dude, we all know they're going to pocket that shit.
Yes. It's dumb. This is just a bad take, and it sets a bad precedent too, because again, tipping culture has gotten really out of control. Like for example, I was at the airport, one of my adventures flying home and shit, and I stopped at a little kiosk to grab a sandwich, and the lady there was just sitting there sitting there on her phone. I grabbed the sandwich myself. I scanned the sandwich myself. I go to pay at the little, Verifone credit card beep booper, and it asked me for a tip. I'm like, why? The lady sat there, did nothing. Why are you asking me for a tip? It's fucking stupid. So it's getting out of control with this crap, and definitely paying $70 now for a game, because unfortunately that is going to be the standard going forward. Paying a 20% or 15% is just dumb. They're already overcharging for legendary editions and crap like what we saw with Ubisoft. So why the fuck would you want to give a dime more? Especially when the majority of these games are not either. A lot of these games now are just straight ass and predatory. Also, this is the same guy that believes in loot boxes a la Diablo Immortal type shit. So no. So no thanks.
Well, well, I do know some games do have that option at the end, but like if it's a smaller game, right? Like indie dev, like indie ass Debbie Davy, right? With diddly dick money, right? It's only him. He's working in his mom's basement. And he's only making like $5 an hour. Like him, I'd be okay with giving the tip to, right? If the game's good, of course, right? If I enjoy the game a lot, like I would be like, okay, you know what? I might give like a little bit of extra, right? But to suggest that like you give like a tip to like these corporations, right? No, man, I'm not giving. I'm not gonna give a tip to like Blizzard or even companies that I like FromSoft and whatnot, because like I said, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do with this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But again, like that's why I'm just like no. Like in this industry, if your product is good, people will buy it. That's just the way it goes. Okay, like you don't have to be asking for tips. If you have to ask for tips, then there's a problem with the overall way that you're budgeting or spending your budget on games. So, and as far as like the small indie teams, like okay, I see your point, but that's also where you can do things like early access. The way Baldur's Gate did their thing, or just on Kickstarter. Like a lot of games will start on Kickstarter. Actually, didn't Baldur's Gate start on Kickstarter first?
No, I think it was always early access.
Oh, it was always early access.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
it was always early access.
okay. So there are plenty of ways to support the game, and in fact, I think that way where you spend money on a game that's in early access is already way more forgiving than people honestly deserve, because people are paying for an unfinished game, which is a huge gamble. And that's not a tip. That's for full $60 or a full 40 or a full 70. Oh Jesus Christ, $70 for a fucking unfinished game. So there's already a lot of that going on.
Well,
So
most
with
early access games are between like the 20 to 40. I don't think I've ever seen a full price early access game. Yeah, in the case of early access, it's like 20 to 40.
Baldur's Gate was full price to early access, no?
Towards the end.
Toward the end.
Yeah, in the end, like that's usually what they do. They'll make it super cheap at the beginning when the game's obviously in its infancy. As they add more and more features, they'll start increasing the price.
Okay.
Or just wait until the end and then just jack it up at the end.
Yeah, of course. But still, the point is like you're essentially paying close to a full price for a game in early access. So you're gambling on a product that's not even finished yet, and then you have these people saying, "Oh no, we should probably tip." It's like, no thanks. Especially since shit is so expensive nowadays, and gamers are really trying really hard to be like, okay, I don't want to spend money on any games, so you need to convince me and make a good game. And if there's even one hair out of place, we'll riot. And that's actually why a lot of the gaming community right now is pissed with anything that smells of tomfuckery, which Star Wars, some of the other stories that we're going to cover now, like we're upset, we're upset, and we're showing that we're upset. So no tips, not even for the indies.
Not the tip.
Put your nope, no tip. No tip. Convince me to go all the way with you, or I'm not or I'm not doing it.